Welcome to Clash Corner, your daily dose of chaos.
He left me alone on our wedding night. I was 28 when I got married, and my husband was 29. We've been married for 3 months now, yet I'm still trying to process something that happened on our wedding night. I was 28 when I got married, and my husband was 29. We've been married for 3 months now, yet I'm still trying to process something that happened on our wedding night. After the celebration, we had planned to spend our first night together in a room we had booked. Instead, my husband chose to leave and spend the evening with his friends. I went to the hotel alone. It was supposed to be the happiest day of my life, but that night felt like one of the loneliest moments I've ever experienced. I was deeply hurt and devastated. We talked about it afterward. I love him very much, and because of that love, I chose to give him another chance. I want our marriage to work. I want to move forward. But when I think back to that night, there's still a quiet ache in my heart. I find myself reliving it, and each time, I feel a small but sharp pain. I'm trying to forgive him, truly. Yet sometimes I feel emotionally numb and unsure whether I'm still hurting, whether I've suppressed it, or whether I simply haven't allowed myself to grieve properly. What makes it harder is that his family and friends didn't see anything wrong with what happened. To them, it wasn't a big deal. But to me, it was deeply personal. I love my husband. I don't want resentment to grow in my heart. But I'm afraid I don't know how to fully move past this. The after party wasn't planned beforehand. They only decided to have it right after our wedding reception. Our wedding venue closed at 10 in the evening, so I was expecting to rest with him after that. But they decided to have an after party because his friends felt the wedding party ended too soon. That's when they found another venue to continue drinking, planning to stay until around 5 in the morning. I got to the hotel around 11 that night, and that's when it really hit me that I was alone. Everything sank in at that moment. How do you heal from something like this? How would you move forward from this?
Ready for more? Here comes Clash number 2.
My mother-in-law threw away my wife's inheritance while we were on vacation. I still feel shaken while typing this. My wife and I just got back from a trip, and we walked into an empty room. I still feel shaken while typing this. My wife and I just got back from a trip. It was our first time away since our twin daughters were born. We gave my mother-in-law a spare key just to check on things if necessary. My wife is very sentimental. When her grandmother passed away, she left her 2 hand-carved mahogany pieces, a desk and a vanity. They were her absolute favorite things. We walked in yesterday and the room was empty. My mother-in-law was there, all smiles, saying she made a surprise for us by getting rid of that old dusty junk to give us a modern look. She replaced them with some cheap flat-pack furniture. She literally gave away or donated my wife's inheritance without asking. I told her to leave and give me the keys. I changed the locks today. My wife has been in tears. Now the rest of the family are calling me abusive and controlling for isolating my wife from her mother over some old piece of junk wood. They say my mother-in-law's heart was in the right place and I'm being a jerk for banning a grandmother from seeing her grandkids over furniture. My wife is on my side. She agrees with the ban, but the constant guilt from her family is making me feel like a monster. Was I wrong to change the locks?
The chaos doesn't stop. Clash number 3.
I had to let my cat go after 25 years. I held my 25-year-old cat as she passed, and I need someone to tell me it was okay. I held my 25-year-old cat as she passed. I live in a very small town, and no vets are available on weekends. On Friday night, she started crying out in pain. I had never heard anything like it. It would have been Monday morning before I could have gotten her to the vet, and I couldn't let her suffer that long. I asked my husband to crush some leftover pain medicine from my back surgery and dissolve it in water. I had a syringe without a needle and used that to give it to her. Within 10 minutes she was asleep, and within 20 she was gone. She was my best friend for 25 years, and I made the choice to end her suffering. I just need someone to tell me it was okay. Did I do the right thing?
Another clash is on the way. Here's number 4.
I let my car run out of gas to prove a point to my roommate. I'm sitting in my car outside my apartment right now because I don't want to go inside yet. I was driving back from a concert with my roommate 3 days ago, but the real mess happened today. Right now I'm sitting in my car outside my apartment because I don't want to go inside yet. My roommate forgets to send me his half of bills every single month. It's always, oops, my bad, I'll get you Friday, and then Friday becomes next week, and then I'm basically floating $150 to $300 until he feels like remembering. I've tried being chill about it. I've tried reminders. I've tried a shared spreadsheet. Nothing sticks. Anyway, this week he asks if I can drive us to a concert because his car is acting weird. I already know what that means. It means empty tank and a mysterious dashboard light he's ignoring. I say sure, but you're covering gas. He says obviously. We drive 45 minutes. Park, have a good time. He buys $60 merch, but whatever, that's his money I guess. On the way home I glance at the fuel gauge and yeah, I'm lower than I thought. I pull into a gas station and say hey, can you tap your card? He pats his pockets, laughs, says he left his wallet at the apartment. I just stare at him. He says it's fine, you can just do it and I'll send you the money. Here is where I messed up. Instead of just paying and arguing later like a normal person, I decided to teach him a lesson. I say okay, cool, and I get back on the highway without filling up. He's like, aren't you getting gas? And I'm like nah, it's fine. It was not fine. About 10 minutes later my car starts doing that little sputter thing. He's quiet, I'm pretending it's still fine. It is not fine. We roll to a dramatic stop on the shoulder at nearly 11:40 p.m. Now we are stuck, on the side of the highway. In the cold, with cars blasting past us. And guess who suddenly remembers his wallet is in fact in his other jacket. We had to call his sister. His sister, to bring gas. She shows up furious because she has work at 6 am. While we're waiting he tries to joke about it and I just lose it. I tell him I'm done fronting him money for anything. No more bills float, no more covering tickets, nothing. We get home and he's saying I overreacted and that running out of gas to make a point was childish. He says I put us in danger. Which yeah, I kind of did. Now he's sulking and saying I embarrassed him in front of his sister. I feel stupid right now because I absolutely could have just put $20 in the tank and dealt with it later. Did I take it too far, or was this a long time coming?
Chaos overload. Let's wrap up this final clash.
I made her a scarf and she started crying. I was having dinner with my family when something unexpected happened that I still think about. My younger brother, who's 23, got a girlfriend in January after New Year's. He met her at their university in the biology department. She's majoring in marine biology and he's doing general biology. They'd been talking for a while before she asked him out and they began dating. I've met her once or twice briefly since I sometimes get asked by my brother to bring him lunch since my work is close. She's a very shy, sweet girl. Last week on Saturday we had an end-of-the-week dinner, where my brother invited his girlfriend for the first time. Our family has a tradition where we invite our partners to dinner only if we're serious, and whenever we do, the whole family has to bring a reasonably decent welcome gift for the new member. We did it with my husband and my oldest brother's wife. Apparently it started on my father's side. Anyway, after we had dinner and sat on the couch, it was time for gifts. Everyone gave their gifts and I could tell that she was getting a bit emotional and I summed it up to her just not being used to it. My turn came and I gave her a royal blue scarf I'd made with a hand-embroidered dolphin on the end of it. She stared at it for a solid 5 minutes then started crying. Like completely sobbing. I began apologizing and asking if I did something wrong while my mom got her water and my brother comforted her. After a bit, she calmed down and said it was okay and that I did nothing wrong, but she left a bit early from dinner with my brother. I was truly so confused about what I did that the next day I called my brother and asked what was wrong. He told me her father passed away 3 years ago from cancer and that he, who was also a marine biologist, which is the reason she wanted to become a marine biologist, used to call her Dolly or Dolphin because it was her favorite animal growing up and still is, and that his favorite color was also coincidentally blue. She had been depressed ever since his death and she was so emotional that she ended up crying really hard that night because she loved the scarf. She wanted my brother to tell me that she didn't dislike me or anything of the sort, and my brother also thanked me because the morning after, she was grinning all day with the scarf on, which hadn't happened in the year that he'd known her. Have you ever given a gift that meant more than you could have imagined?
That was today's chaos. See you at the next clash. Don't just watch the clash, join the corner. Subscribe now.